the most evil thing you can do in Dragon Age the Veilguard versus Baldur's Gate 3. Spoilers for the end of Baldur's Gate 3 and for the first little tidbit in Dragon Age the Veilguard. This is only like 4 or 5 hours in. But yeah, this is pretty much a perfect example of why I've been saying Dragon Age the Veilguard is not really an RPG. It is a friendship simulator that starts the first few hours looking like it's going to be an RPG, and then it just kind of gives up on that and turns into friendship simulator and sort of like group therapy simulator too later in the game, where it's like, there's a dragon killing thousands of people. Why are we just sitting around talking about our feelings? Can we take a break? Let's just deal with the problem at hand. But let's see what this is. Let me show you. This is from Tarek.
I know you. You're the mayor of this town.
The village. The people. Are they,
Blighted. Dead. All of them.
Sure are.
You gave them to the gods, didn't you? Didn't you?
They were in my head. Infecting my thoughts. They made me do it. Please, help me.
So basically this mayor betrayed his whole town. All of them are dead. He says he was corrupted. His thoughts were corrupted by the gods who took advantage of him. And so he's not really to blame. He's a victim as well, you know, in all this. And the player has a choice of leaving him to die or kind of releasing him. And this is one of the only times in the entire game that you get to make a choice that is between a good quote unquote action and an evil hard action. Even then, I don't know if I would even consider it evil to leave him to die after he caused an entire village to die. But you know, it's a clear choice between the player doing something quote unquote good and merciful and doing something dark. Most of the other choices in the game are like, two bad things are happening. Pick which one. These people are going to die or these people are going to die. Which people do you want to die? It's just like a trolley problem with no disparity between the outcomes. So it's just a one-to-one, like kind of meaningless choice, but you can still make that choice later. Funnily enough, this is a sequence that was shown to us at the preview event back in like early September. And we were shown this and they said like, this is just one of many morally gray choices you'll be making in the game. And I feel like it's it's maybe one of 2 or 3 that you make in the entire game. And it has almost no consequence whatsoever. I'm not even sure if there is a consequence. I chose to leave him. I've heard no reference to it other than a line of dialogue like 5 minutes after this scene. So I don't know if it comes back at the end of the game. I don't know if it has consequence later on. Maybe it does. But that's like one of the very few choices you can make between bad, quote unquote, and good, right? So you can leave him there. But then let's fast forward to Baldur's Gate 3, which is, in my opinion, like a true role-playing game. And this is where I've been frustrated. It's like the last 5 years, maybe even 10 years, the term RPG is thrown around so casually, it doesn't mean anything anymore. RPG is supposed to mean role-playing game. It's supposed to be a game in which you can choose a role before you even start, and you can play that role out. If you want to play as a mass murdering serial killer, you can do that. If you want to play as Gandhi and go through it as peacefully as you possibly can while viciously masturbating, you can do that, because apparently that's what Gandhi liked to do. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff if you decide where you want to start, and then you can play that role. And that's what's so fun about role-playing games, is if you want to play Fallout New Vegas, I've even done this. If you want to do a Jesus playthrough of Fallout New Vegas, you can do that. Like full pacifist run. If you want to go and you want to play as a serial killer, you can do that. If you want to go and like role play as somebody who is terrible in combat but just smooth talks everybody, you can do that. You know, you can do that. WTF, never heard about that with Gandhi. Yeah, dude, Gandhi was like, he was a bro, like a full frat bro. He would like go and just, he thought that like sexuality was evil. So he would go and have like teen girls lay with him naked in his bed. And then he would just try to resist doing anything. Like there's some amazing stories about Gandhi and his bizarre, like sexual self-hatred. Like it was bizarre. Anyway, How did we get on that? I don't know. The point is, true RPGs, oh, that's how I got on it. True RPGs, you can pick a role and you can play it. That's why people love New Vegas. That's why people love Baldur's Gate, because they're real. And like games like D&D, tabletop role-playing games, where it truly is unlimited, so long as your DM is willing to put up with you. If you want to play, you know, as basically a Kratos character mourning the loss of his family, you can do that. If you want to play as a happy-go-lucky turtle that just more than anything wants to be a performer known the world over, and you play as a bard, you can do that. You know, there's so much flexibility in that. Dragon Age doesn't let you do any of that. Baldur's Gate, on the other hand, does, and this is an example of what real dark, gritty, like evil looks like at the end of Baldur's Gate. I'll play it here in just a second once
Robert
this reads.
Connor is now a member. Would I come to Luke Stevens for critical game takes and smack talk of Gandhi?
You're damn right. You're damn right. Yeah. It's got a balance. You know, we have to balance it out. Okay. So let's see this. Let's see what Baldur's Gate's evil choices look like. In case you're not aware, that's he killed the Emperor, so he killed like one of the only characters that could help you stop the Elder Brain.
In Baal's name.
Giggity. Yeah, Baal, like the god of murder. If you haven't done the Urge playthrough, I encourage you to, because your character like can pursue that and basically become like the chosen of the god of murder. Again, like pretty hardcore, right?
A thousand respiring things lie below, pointing up at you, gasping their last. But there is one who deserves the honor of your first death, the beginning of your end.
My magnificent love. Do you see now what you are capable of? Such terrible beauty. Such beautiful devastation.
Bro. Lizard kiss.
We were meant to do this together.
The best description of this is in the comments of this video. We go down. Veilguard. Leave a greedy scumbag to his fate. Baldur's Gate 3. Omnicide. Kill everyone. Yeah. 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 Indeed.
Time for the final act. Your tragedy has become mankind's.
Just casually killing everybody. Okay. Okay. True evil playthrough. Like a true evil playthrough.
Creature living, with all else felled by your hand. Alone amidst their gall at the close of eternity. Father will be proud.
Little bit of a difference, right? A little bit of a difference. Having killed literally anyone or everyone, they pivot and oh man, it's so great. It's so great. So that's what I think of when I think of a role-playing game. And we said back when Baldur's Gate 3 launched, people were like, this is going to raise the bar and it's going to make it harder for games to compete. And a lot of like games journalists, for example, were saying, and well, specifically game devs too, were saying that, no, that's bad. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that. And it's because stuff like this happens. When you have a Baldur's Gate 3, all other games that try to do it, that try to be role-playing games, feel hollow in comparison, you know, because you've tasted the forbidden fruit. You know what a real role-playing game can be like, where you can do that, or you can pursue a good run where you're trying to save everybody, where you are making a self-sacrificial choice to save them. If you do a Gale run through, you have like the ability to literally play the savior for all of life in this universe. Like it's crazy cool. But that's what a true role-playing game is like. And when you have a game, in my opinion, like Dragon Age Veilguard, which claims to be a role-playing game, but doesn't provide you that stuff, it ends up with the game feeling hollow and shallow. There could be other parts of it that are good. You know, there could be other things about Dragon Age that are good. So I'm not saying that it's like all bad, but the point is when you frame your game as a role-playing game, and you don't meet that new bar, that new standard, it just will hurt public perception of it because people are going to do these comparisons. I mean, don't tell my wife because she's been playing Dragon Age and having a great time. But I played like 2 hours of Dragon Age and I reached a point, no spoilers, where I hit what was supposed to be a pretty big consequential moment. And the little wheel came up and I had the choice to say yes, maybe, but yes. And no, well, actually, I mean, yes. And it just railroaded me straight into the path that they needed me to take. And I was really frustrated and I turned off the game and I booted up Baldur's Gate again with one of my old saves where I was playing Dark Urge and I went through the finale again just to get a taste of actual consequence and choice. And it was awesome. It was awesome. It was great. And so maybe unfortunately, the true legacy of Dragon Age Veilguard is going to be that it makes us appreciate Baldur's Gate 3 way more. Because for me, that's kind of what it's done. I appreciate some aspects of Dragon Age Veilguard. I really appreciate the cinematic quality, the production value, the polish is phenomenal, things like that. But other bits and pieces of it just remind me of how much I love other games.